Okay, hello everyone. This is my case study on Josh. Uh, so here we go. Um, Josh is a student with emotional disturbance um, for everything except encore classes, general music, health. He is in a non-inclusive classroom. He has a paraprofessional that accompanies him throughout the day, um, and he really struggles in large group scenarios. Um, when there are a lot of people or a lot of noise, he becomes easily overwhelmed. And when he becomes overwhelmed, he sometimes shuts down emotionally and doesn't participate, or in very extreme situations, he can physically lash out. Um, so, to help with this, he's in this small, non inclusive classroom for most of his subjects. Um, there is a crisis team in the building to deal with any students who become distressed. Um, they work with him, help him calm down when he becomes overwhelmed. For testing accommodations, he gets extra time, and he's in a separate location from other general education students. In the music classroom, Josh is very successful. Um, he's one of the first to pick up concepts, especially on performance activities. Um, we did a lot of work with performing on guitar, accompanying using uh, chord patterns, um, and he was usually the first one to pick up the pattern, get it into his hands. He was very diligent with practicing, um, and he would typically master the concept before any of the other students. Because it's an inclusive classroom, and a music classroom, it can be very noisy, and it has a larger class size than he's used to. Um, to deal with this, because this is a scenario where he finds himself getting overwhelmed, we developed a signal between the two of us that he can just show the signal. I acknowledge that he's shown me the signal. He exits the room um, for a short amount of time to take a break, to collect himself, to calm down, and to avoid whatever the situation was that was making him overwhelmed. Um, because he was so successful in class, we began working with the Songster app. It's a Android iPhone app that has a scrolling tablature. We'll have pictures a little, I think. Next slide. There we go. Um, the tablature on the screen scrolls across, um, and as you can see at the bottom, you have the option to slow down the song um, as far down as 10% speed. Um, as you go through, it plays a MIDI recording of the song along with you in time with that cursor, so you're able to follow along, and there's a limited amount of information that you see at one time. um, with some computer projects that we would work on, um, for students like Josh, where they're getting ahead of where everyone else is, all of the instructions are posted on the assignment with images to match up with them. So if they find themselves getting ahead or the pace of the class isn't going fast enough, as we're going step by step through the process for that day before the students get a chance to do it individually, ask questions about specific things. Um, Students like Josh who are getting ahead, they can look at the directions, they can see the pictures, know what it's supposed to look like at the end. Um, so here's a couple examples of those sorts of directions. Um, I typically use the they all sorry all the students have Chromebooks. Um, I typically use this a lot to my advantage. Um, for one, it's easy organization for any student that has difficulty organizing. It allows for a lot of different modifications to the material without a ton of extra work to add into that. Translations, visual needs, you can put a magnifier on, you can do an on-screen keyboard for students with physical needs, automatic clicks, voice to text. For a student who might be completely blind, it will read the screen to you. There's ways to mono audio. If the student has a loss of hearing in one ear, they can hear everything that's supposed to be in the music in one. Highlighting the cursor or the text, it just makes it much easier for students to interact with the technology. And they can take control of what they need to be successful, and apply it to all of their subjects, assuming that each class uses the Chromebooks. My particular favorite, and one that I use even though I don't have any diagnosed need for it, the high contrast mode makes it so much easier to be looking at the screen all day. And I recommend to all my students to use this. Here's an example of a Google form. We use the Google Forms for our daily questions. Students come in, they sit down, they just answer whatever the question is. Maybe it's about a song we're listening to, maybe it's about their feelings on pigeons. Who knows for that day? It's something that they can come in, have a little bit of fun, and just get started thinking and writing a little bit. I also use it for exit tickets. That question would be something like a question about the process that we did that day for the project, or they could perform something on the guitar that they had learned that day, giving them the option of changing the way that they want to present their learning. But if we turn on the high contrast mode, it's a little different on their Chromebooks, but it inverts the color, and apparently deletes all my images. Let's try that again. Disable. Enable. Well, this has been fun. Just a minute. We'll pull one up here. No one ever said technology was particularly nice to us. So, from April 19th, our daily question. Oh, goodness. Here we go. If we turn on high contrast mode now, inverted color. Okay, so you can see how much easier that would be to read. The colors aren't so shocking. The white on the black makes it a lot easier on the eyes, and it makes it a lot easier for students to see. So thanks for watching. I guess that's it. Enjoy your rest of summer, job search, all that fun stuff. Thanks.